Welcome back to Inside Star Secrets, where pop culture meets plot twists. When JoJo Siwa released her hot retro glam version of Bette Davis Eyes on July 11, 2025, she probably thought people would look at her funny. However, not many people saw how quickly the internet would turn into a full-on culture clash, full of passionate criticism, surprising defenses, and deep questions about artistic heritage, queer subtext, and reinventing oneself. Let's talk about what's causing the debate, why people have such strong opinions, and what it shows about the direction of pop culture. Disclaimer: this video explores public reactions, both positive and negative, to JoJo Siwa's recent cover of Bette Davis Eyes. It includes commentary from fans, critics, and industry voices, and is intended to provide a balanced overview of the controversy. We do not endorse harassment or personal attacks against JoJo Siwa, or any individual discussed. Music is subjective, and all perspectives shared here reflect the evolving conversation, not definitive judgments. What really happened? Kim Carnes made Bette Davis Eyes popular in 1981, and JoJo Siwa released her studio version of the song this week on all major streaming services. Along with the release, she showed off a big change. Her signature high hair and rainbow style were gone, and she now had a retro 1950s-style housewife look. Picture old pearls, gingham, a coiffed blonde bob, and red lipstick. The pictures looked like they were a nod to the nostalgia of the mid-century, but fans quickly started to wonder what she was trying to say. Before the song came out officially, Siwa performed it live on tour in London and Mexico City. While there, she changed the lyrics from "She's got Bette Davis eyes" to "She's got Chris Hughes's eyes" as a romantic tribute to her boyfriend, whom she met on Celebrity Big Brother UK. It sounds like a safe fix, right? Not really. What's with all the backlash? Why are people upset? Did the singing fall short? The sound was one of the loudest pieces of feedback that came right away. Fans and haters alike were asking questions about Siwa's singing on social media sites. Many people said that the singer's voice was too processed and auto-tuned, which took away from the song's raw, eerie magic. Someone on TikTok said, "This is the craziest auto-tuning I've ever heard." Over on Reddit, someone said, "Her voice sounds like a fork in a garbage disposal." Some people called the production soulless because they said it turned a smoky, emotional song into a generic dance pop cover. Some music blogs called the version strangely musty and said it didn't fully commit to the retro homage, nor deliver a modern remake with substance. Here's the question, though. Is it fair to judge a cover by how closely it copies the original, or by how strongly it changes it? That conflict between honoring the past and starting over is at the heart of this argument. Is it too close to Kim Carnes' history? The history of Kim Carnes herself is another source of conflict. Carnes' version of Bette Davis Eyes in 1981 not only topped the charts, it became a symbol for a whole age. The single was #1. Won for 9 weeks, won Record of the Year and Song of the Year at the Grammys, and is still one of the most famous of the 2000s. A lot of people thought JoJo Siwa was crossing a fine line between respect and imitation when her cover of Carnes' song seemed to echo not only the song, but also her phrasing, inflections, and delivery. Carnes first put up a TikTok video with the mysterious caption, "Singing a song and embodying it are different things. Being true to yourself is what makes songs last forever." Later, she took down the video, but in a TMZ interview, she went into more detail, saying that while she liked younger acts, Siwa's vocal interpretation felt a bit too close for comfort. To be clear, Carnes did not mean when she criticized Siwa, but her subtle criticism made fans even more worried about the purity of the art. Where is the gay subtext now? Now the conversation gets more in-depth. Some critics and LGBTQ+ people have said that Carnes' version of Bette Davis Eyes had a strong queer context, even though it wasn't overtly queer. The song's enigmatic tone, third-person point of view, and smoky distance opened the door to different readings of identity and attraction between people of the same gender, especially in the 1980s when open representation was scarce. The song sounds very traditional and gendered in Siwa's version, which is a love song to her boyfriend, and a first-person heterosexual tribute. For some, that change felt like the original lost some of the subtle emotional depth it had to give. It's worth noting that Ethel Cain just released a song called Fuck Me Eyes that was inspired by Bette Davis Eyes. Critics loved it because it was queer, scary, and innovative. Fans say that version held more true to the original by exploring its emotional themes more deeply, instead of putting them in a safe memories box. So we need to ask, does changing the point of view change the meaning of queer-coded art? Or does it make it less meaningful? Why some fans are standing up for JoJo? Not everyone thinks the cover is terrible. More and more fans are speaking out against the backlash, saying that it might be because of unrealistic expectations, performative purity, or refusing to let young artists grow. Let us check out the other side. Isn't part of being an artist coming up with new ideas? JoJo Siwa is going through a transitional moment. She is moving beyond the overly polished, bright face that made her famous on Nickelodeon and Dance Moms. In the past few years, she's been very open about wanting to shed that image and take on a more mature and artistic persona. Her 2024 song, Karma, tried to start this new era, and she even said she wanted to be the first artist to make gay pop. Bette Davis Eyes isn't trying to be like Kim Carnes from this point of view. It's about taking back a classic and changing it to fit a new part of her career. One fan wrote on Reddit, "She's not trying to replace the original, she's making it hers." Someone else said, "Let her grow up." Artists change. That's what they should do. Should the reaction have been less harsh? In her TMZ interview, Kim Carnes talked about this and said that the mean statements were toxic and unnecessary. She made it clear that she was worried about how similar their voices were, but that hate doesn't belong in music. That sentence helped bring some attention back to polite speech. Fans liked it live, right? It's interesting that Siwa's live version of the song, which came out before the studio version, did very well at her shows. Both London and Mexico City fans reacted with a lot of energy, and her team says it was the energy of the crowds that made her decide to record the song. Take a step back. What does the word legacy mean in the year 2025? Artists who cover a well-known song, especially one that defined a decade and won big awards, take on not only the melody but also the weight of history. The reaction shows that there is a larger cultural urge to protect old songs, especially ones that are important to people emotionally or sexually. But does that sense stop you from being creative? Should songs' history make them untouchable, or should it allow for new interpretations? Is queer-coded art becoming less strong, or is it changing? Is the cover flawed? Perhaps. Is it the end of your job? Not really. Maybe it's a messy culture moment, but it's a moment that makes us think about bigger things. About passing on. About who owns what. About telling gay stories. And how we watch artists get better in front of our eyes. Thanks for watching Inside Star Secrets, where pop culture clashes and comeback moves get the spotlight they don't ask for. Was JoJo's cover a misunderstood tribute, or a remix that missed the mark? Drop your take below. We're pinning the boldest ones. Hit like and subscribe, and keep your ears open. Because on Inside Star Secrets, what the fans whisper, we broadcast loud. Inside Star Secrets, what they try to hide, we reveal.